What's up, everyone? Today I am joined by Luke Greenfield, the director of Half Brothers. Luke, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, with COVID right now, movies and entertainment, they've come to a little bit of a standstill, but they're slowly rolling out. What are you excited for with COVID season in movies?
Boy, I just want the theaters to open up. I just want, you know what I mean? It's been a very interesting time for the movie business, and there's been so many films that have been delayed and so many films that have been pushed a year later. And so, you know, I think without the experience of cinema, you know, it's like it kills me. It's the only reason why I make movies, is to be in the theater with my audience, you know, and feel what they feel.
You are known for producing role models, directing The Girl Next Door, The Animal, Let's Be Cops, a lot of feel-good comedies.
Yeah.
How important is it that we have more movies like this with COVID and everything going on?
Hugely important, isn't it? You know, I mean, with Half Brothers, you know, it's really a family film about empathy and forgiving, and the most important thing is family. And so, you know, we always, you know, 2.5 years ago, we didn't set out to make a film that was gonna, you know, rescue the world from a virus, but it kind of turned out that way. And so, you know, I think the studio and the filmmakers were just so excited to get the film out there, because there really hasn't been a film like this in a long time. You know, it's a different, you know, I loved your question because it's a different kind of comedy. This is, you know, the reason why I made the film was, you know, on one hand you have a grounded buddy comedy, right? And on the other hand, you have this kind of dramatic, heartbreaking yet tragic journey of this immigrant who's trying to just keep his family alive. And so how to balance those two tones so that I have the audience laughing and then right away have them crying and then back to laughing. And so I really wanted to kind of play with that tone. And so, you know, hopefully it will work with audiences.
Yes. Now, Half Brothers, it's a movie about a father-son strengthening their bond together, bringing an entire family together between two countries.
Yeah.
What inspired you to tell this story?
It's a great question. You know, we all had to dig deep. You know, we all had to look. You know, myself and the star Luis, we had to dig deep into our own father issues, and I didn't realize. I had to do something I didn't want to do, which was dig deep and kind of think about my own father issues, my own parents' divorce, my own divorce, and kind of, you know, in order to tell a really honest story with a real emotion, I had to bring out the truth in myself, really. And so that's what really inspired me, was that it's this beautiful father-son movie, and it's about empathy, and it's about forgiveness. And then add on that this kind of cultural clash between, you know, this wealthy, successful businessman in Mexico who hates America, who doesn't even want to come to U.S., and like the whole movie he's trying to get the hell out of America. And then you have his half-brother who's this kind of American guy with no filter. And so seeing them come together, you know, beginning with them hating each other, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's a love story. I mean, it's a love story without the female. It's a love story between two half brothers, and these guys, you know, in a way, kind of find common ground and find each other, and pretty much fall in love in the end. Really, yeah.
Now, I gotta ask, there is a goat in the movie. What was it like filming with those kind of animals?
I'll tell you, I thought when I was very young, I made a film called The Animal with Rob Schneider, and I had tigers and I mean every animal known to man except for a baby goat. So I thought that I had graduated. Little did I know that George the goat was going to be a challenge. You know, his cute baby goat.
George the goat, I love the name.
George, and he was, you know, you can't really train a baby goat. So he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. And to put him in a car for hours on end with our two actors with no air conditioning in the hot sun of Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, you know. But I always kept telling Luis that you know, that the goat's stealing the scene, dude. You better pick it up. You know, you're being outshined. So it kind of motivated Luis to give us a better performance.
No, Luis, this is one of his first major films. What was it like working with him?
Incredible. incredible. I mean, literally, and I'm not exaggerating, he's probably the best human being I've met. I mean, he is so different from this character. I mean, when you meet Luis, I don't think he's ever been in a bad mood in his life. He's never angry. He just has this infectious energy of just fun and excitement. I mean, he came to the location and just made us a family. And so I promised him that I would make him an American movie star. He's a huge movie star, you know, in Mexico and Latin America. And so, you know, this is his shot. He knew it. This was his shot to be a leading man in American cinema. And so hopefully we'll see what happens.
Now, The Girl Next Door, an American classic. Will there be a sequel?
You know, they keep asking me about that, to be honest with you. I mean, 16 years later, if I had known, I was very young. I was very young when I made that movie. I don't know at the time if I appreciated the fact that, you know, The Girl Next Door is such an interesting experience because I didn't have to compromise at all. Like what we wrote in that script, the music, the songs, everything, like I got what I wanted. I was just too young at the time, I think, because I thought this was the normal thing. So, look, I'm in contact with all those actors. I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, maybe Emil and Alicia will come back. I've always been kind of approached to do that as a series.
I think that would be a great series.
I think it would be too.
I mean, it's very relatable, the whole story.
Right.
I think it's a great idea.
You look like her a little bit, actually. Do you get that a lot?
Nope, but thank you.
Yeah, well, listen, I would love to. You never know. But it comes up a lot. I mean, it's been 16 years since that movie came out. But yeah, I mean, I'm up for it. I'll do it.
Now, I know you're a big golf player.
Yes.
What other activities do you do on set to keep you busy?
That's a great question. I try to work out as much as possible because all you do as a director is just get fatter and fatter on a set. So trying to work out as much as I can, play tennis, and no sugar. I'm addicted to sugar, and like when I eat sugar, the next day I'm always kind of like antsy and agitated on set. So I learned years ago not to eat sugar. What else do I do? Travel. I mean, I haven't shot a movie in Los Angeles in years. And so I've been in New York and Vancouver and Atlanta and now New Mexico. So I think on the off time, it's just kind of sightseeing, going to Santa Fe. Albuquerque's a little trippy place. I mean, it's not really a sightseeing place, but Santa Fe was great. And there's all sorts of national parks and just beautiful, there's Sedona. It's just a gorgeous area. So I guess kind of traveling around on weekends. Yeah. I don't have much free time when I make a movie. You know what I mean? I don't sleep much. I'm kind of a guy who just puts the blinders on and just all work. So I think I have to learn to enjoy myself more making a movie.
What was your favorite scene to film?
In this movie, it was interesting because I had such a good time making this movie. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine my favorite scene to shoot, I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, but is the ending. This ending is such a surprise, and it's kind of this emotional gut punch. And, if we didn't get this ending scene right, of who is Eloise, the movie fails. I mean, it was everything. I remember beginning the day, I turned to the crew and I announced to the whole crew, I said, if I screw this up, this was all for nothing. Like the movie's gonna fail if we don't hit this right. And Luis, is a very big emotional scene for him, and he's a theater actor, so he was really getting the character and, by himself kind of channeling, his own relationship with his father. And we hid, when he opens that barn door, we hid it from him. Like he'd never seen it. So what you're seeing on screen when the camera pushes into his face is his real reaction to what he's seeing. So it's all very genuine and real. And he has to do a very emotional, this guy who plays so cold and bitter and angry throughout the whole film, to see him transform and just break down. That was a beautiful. I've never cried on set. I've never cried making a movie, and it was weird. I cried when I was looking at the monitor watching him. It was a very weird experience. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite scene.
And working with actors that haven't done much film before, such as Luis.
Yeah.
It must be great to be able to kind of transform them as a director into a sort of either method acting or maybe more improv.
Right.
What was it like trying to transform him into this role into the movie?
It's a great question. You know, he's a theater actor, and so he'll be the first to tell you that he doesn't want to be a movie star. He doesn't. He's all about the craft, and he's very theatrically trained, and he likes challenges. And he thought that his challenge on this movie was to star in an American film. But what he realized was, when we started digging deep into our own father issues, he was channeling a lot of that when he'd go home at night. And you know, to your question, is that, you know, really having him understand that the camera is doing a lot of work too. Because when you're a theater actor, you're used to, you know, projecting, you know, and telling a story to 600 people. And so with Luis, and he has a lot of experience in Mexican cinema, but you know, really working with him and letting him understand how he's being shot, how he's being lit, what music is playing. I'm very big on that, by the way, is that I usually know every song that's in the movie, and I even know the type of score I'm going to play. So I will play music like crazy to get him going, which you don't have that in the theater. So, you know, I think I've worked with a lot of theater actors, whether they're British or Mexican, and so, you know, it's really helping them understand that they're in a different world, and understand their relationship to the lens, and their kind of emotional connection to the audience is much different than in the theater.
Yeah, I think music is such an important aspect of any movie. Anytime I'm watching a movie, the music really gets me into it. Yeah. What composers did you use for this film?
Wow, great question. Yeah, so it's a young composer on the scene named Jordan Siegel, who just knocked it out of the park. And we had temped, we temp music, the movie, so we used famous Thomas Newman scores, and it put Jordan in a very precarious situation, because when you temp the movie with these John Williams, Thomas Newman, he's got a lot on his plate, and so he's a very young composer, and he really came through, because the bar was set so high for him. But I agree with you, like, music's everything. It really is, to me at least, in movies.
All right, guys, be sure to check out Half Brothers, out in theaters December 4th. Luke, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.